Iran's top officials have pushed back sharply against Donald Trump's assertion that the conflict was nearing its end, with Tehran declaring that it is fully prepared to sustain its military campaign for as long as required and ruling out any return to negotiations with Washington. Speaking to PBS News, Arakchi was unequivocal. Firing would continue, he said, for as long as it takes, and talks with the Americans were simply not on Tehran's agenda. The reasoning, he quoted, was blunt. Iran had sat through 3 rounds of negotiations with Washington, heard assurances of progress, and then watched the U.S. launch its opening strikes on Iran. A very bitter experience was how he characterized it. He dismissed claims that the campaign had succeeded in destabilizing the Islamic Republic, arguing the U.S. and Israel had failed at regime change and were now aimless. Iran's security chief, Ali Larijani, was more pointed still, responding directly to Trump on X. "Even those greater than you could not eliminate the Iranian nation," he wrote. "Watch out for yourself, lest you be eliminated." The remarks landed hours after Trump, speaking at a Florida news conference on Monday local time, had told journalists the conflict would be over soon. Markets had responded positively to those comments. Tokyo and Seoul opened strongly Tuesday, and oil prices fell as much as 5% after benchmark crude had crossed $100 a barrel the previous day. The calm proved short-lived as Iranian officials systematically dismantled the narrative of a conflict winding down. The IRGC reinforced the position from a military angle, stating that it, not Washington, would determine when the war concluded, and reiterating that oil flows through the region would be shut down if strikes continued. Iran has effectively halted tanker traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow passage through which roughly a fifth of the world's oil moves daily. The International Maritime Organization confirmed at least 7 sailors had been killed in attacks on merchant vessels near the strait. Trump responded with a sharp escalation in rhetoric on Truth Social, warning that any Iranian action blocking Hormuz oil flows would be met with strikes 20 times harder than anything delivered so far, and separately threatening an attack of incalculable size if Tehran persisted. On the question of ending the fighting, Iran's parliament speaker Mohammad Bakir Kalibaf was categorical, writing that Tehran was absolutely not looking for a ceasefire. He framed the conflict in broader terms, accusing Israel of perpetuating a cycle of war, negotiation, and ceasefire to consolidate its position, and vowing to break that cycle entirely. His Israeli counterpart, Knesset Speaker Amir Ohana, responded in Persian with 3 words: "Unconditional surrender was the only proposal on the table."
Iran's foreign minister Sayed Abbas Arakchi has said that Tehran was prepared to continue attacks for as long as necessary. While speaking to U.S. broadcaster PBS News, Arakchi said negotiations with the United States were no longer on the agenda. Arakchi's remark comes amid the Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson saying that Tehran had refused requests for a ceasefire from countries including France, Russia, and China.
Some contacts are being held with the Islamic Republic of Iran, as you follow in the news, from China, Russia, France, and even some countries in the region are in contact with us, and other countries, both Islamic and non-Islamic ones. Some of them, yes, are actually willing to act to stop this war or establish a ceasefire. Well, this is their request and we are fulfilling it.
The cessation of this war is in the hands of the Islamic Republic of Iran. This means that whenever the Islamic Republic of Iran decides for them to stop, the ultimate decision rests with the Islamic Republic of Iran in this matter, because they were the ones who committed aggression. They carried out armed attacks.
We must actually stop when we can feel or have a guarantee that these aggressive actions will not happen again and that they will accept full responsibility for their own actions. These two conditions, they must accept responsibility. It's not like they'll just come today and say stop and ceasefire, and we'll say very well and it's all over. We currently hold the upper hand. Look, every single effort they have made has utterly failed. Even now, they have not achieved their objectives. The Islamic Republic of Iran has inflicted severe and painful losses upon the Zionist regime, America, and their allies. Just observe the state of the global economy and energy. This is extremely painful for them. So you see, we have delivered truly devastating blows in this regard. So, we actually have the upper hand here, and therefore the Islamic Republic of Iran will determine the end of the war.
Earlier, Donald Trump claimed that the war in the Middle East would end very soon.
Thank you, Mr. President. On Iran, you called it an excursion. You said it would be over soon. Are you thinking this week it will be over?
No,
Are you talking
but soon.
about days?
I think soon.
Okay, and with respect
Very
to...
soon. Look, everything they have is gone, including their leadership. In fact, there are two levels of leadership, and even actually, as it turns out, more than that. But two levels of leadership are gone. Most people have never even heard about the leaders that they're talking about. So it's obviously been very, very powerful, very effective.
The Iranian military has also slammed Trump over his claims, even as a Wall Street Journal report claimed that Trump's advisors had urged the U.S. president to exit from the war.
Is Donald Trump seeking an exit from the ongoing war against Iran? A bombshell report from the Wall Street Journal has claimed that the U.S. president's advisors have privately urged him to look for an exit plan amid spiking oil prices and concerns that a lengthy conflict could spark political backlash. While speaking to reporters in Florida, Trump had claimed that the U.S. military had mostly achieved its goals.
So we're winning very decisively. We're way ahead of schedule. Our military is the greatest in the world, with the greatest equipment and the greatest people in the world. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Iran's a very powerful country. They were going to take over the Middle East. If we did not hit them, they were going to take over the Middle East. They had thousands and thousands. Since their last hit, they had thousands and thousands of missiles and everything else. Most are now destroyed. But they were going to take over the Middle East. Those weapons were aimed at Middle Eastern countries that had nothing to do with this. They were going to take over the Middle East, and they were going to try and destroy Israel. So we stopped it with good timing, and we're very proud to be involved in this, and it's going to be ended soon. And if it starts up again, they'll be hit even harder.